Vanessa Clark stood by the espresso machine inside the Summit Wealth Bank Executive Lounge, her navy suit tailored to perfection, heels anchored like a general on a battlefield. Her expression was calm, composed, even, but her eyes scanned the room with military precision. Every blink, every murmur, every glance meant something here. And Vanessa knew it. Keith Morris stood at her side, briefcase clutched tightly, sweat beading on his forehead. Behind them, Calvin Holt shifted his weight, quiet but clearly disturbed by the growing tension. Across the room, three employees, Lisa Wells, Natalie Newman, and Robert Klein, clustered near the concierge desk. Their whispers weren't subtle. They glanced from Vanessa to the surveillance tablet, playing back earlier footage. Again and again, 20 minutes earlier, Vanessa had made an unusual request to withdraw $5 million in cash from her private portfolio. Not wire, not transfer, physical cash. That request sent an unspoken tremor through the marble-lined fortress they called a bank. Lisa had smiled then, tight-lipped and cold. "I'm sorry, Ms. Clark. That amount requires verification. In your account," she trailed off. But her eyes finished the sentence for her. "You don't belong here." Vanessa calmly provided her ID, business registration, and ownership credentials, every legal document confirming her identity and power. Still, Natalie had chuckled under her breath. "Maybe she borrowed Vanessa Clark's name," she whispered to Robert. "Or maybe it's Photoshop." Robert had remained mostly quiet, glancing nervously between his colleagues and the entrance. He knew something was off, but silence was safer. Vanessa had said nothing then. She watched, stored their comments in her mind like data points. When Keith finally snapped, his voice cut across the polished air. "You're denying the CEO of Summit Enterprises her own money. Are you insane?" Lisa stiffened. "This isn't personal, sir. It's protocol." "No," Calvin muttered. "It's prejudice." Lisa bristled. "You people always make it about." Vanessa's voice sliced through the air like ice. "Because it is. I've watched you approve transactions for men in sweatpants who couldn't spell fiduciary. Yet here I am, in my own bank, treated like a criminal." The room froze. Seconds passed. Then the glass doors hissed open. A man entered, tall, composed, authoritative. Jonathan Marks, Director of Internal Compliance. Two aides followed, tablets in hand. Lisa hurried toward him. "Mr. Marks, we were." He raised a hand. "Following protocol? Good. Then you'll understand when I say Protocol 6 has been activated." Natalie visibly blanched. Protocol 6 meant legal review, disciplinary hearings. Jonathan turned to Vanessa. "Ms. Clark, on behalf of Summit Wealth Bank, I deeply apologize. Headquarters sent me directly. I expected they would." Vanessa said quietly to face the staff. "Ms. Clark's identity and ownership records are valid. The transaction was within her rights." Robert exhaled in visible relief. Lisa's jaw clenched. "But your conduct is under review," Jonathan interrupted. "Bias, misconduct, and obstruction. We have audio logs, chat threads, and surveillance footage." One aide turned their tablet toward the group. Messages flickered on the screen. Internal staff texts mocking Vanessa, questioning her legitimacy, implying fraud. Keith raised his phone. "Mind if I record this now?" Vanessa didn't look at him. "Not yet. Let them keep talking." Jonathan's voice dropped. "Ms. Newman, Ms. Wells, you're suspended effective immediately. Mr. Klein, HR will contact you." Security approached. Lisa shot Vanessa a last glare. "You think this changes the world?" "No," Vanessa replied calmly. "But it changes you." Just then, Jonathan's phone buzzed. His face hardened. "What now?" Vanessa asked. He turned to her slowly. "Another incident. In London. The board logged you absent during a major vote." "I wasn't even notified," Vanessa said, tone turning sharp. "Exactly. It bypassed your credentials. Your vote was reassigned." Vanessa's eyes narrowed. This wasn't a glitch. No, it looks deliberate. "Start a full audit," she ordered. "I want access logs from every executive team in Europe. Pull calendar entries. Metadata. Communications." Jonathan hesitated. "Ms. Clark, if this is what it looks like it is," she said. "I want names. Now." He gave a firm nod. Protocol 7. Vanessa gave him a look that needed no words. Keith leaned in. You think this goes deeper? Vanessa's lips pressed into a thin line. They tried to erase me from a board I built. And someone had to approve that change. Then her phone vibrated. Unknown number. No caller ID. She picked up, but a voice crackled through. Low. Confident. You were never meant to get this far, Vanessa. She froze. Who is this? The line clicked dead. She stared at the screen, then looked up. Her eyes, once calm, now burned. Jonathan, she said. Bring me everything. And notify London. I'm on the next flight. He hesitated. What about the cash withdrawal? Vanessa smiled darkly. Let them keep it. For now. Then she turned toward the windows, the city skyline gleaming. Somewhere out there, someone had declared war, and Vanessa Clark was ready. The room was electric. For a long second, no one moved. Only the distant hum of the espresso machine and the dull rhythm of someone's heartbeat filled the space. Then, Vanessa Clark stood taller than before, her presence no longer quiet, no longer strategic. The problem, she said, her voice cutting clean through the tension, wasn't that you didn't know who I was. The problem is how you treated someone you thought didn't matter. Lisa Newman staggered back half a step. This isn't how we do things. Vanessa raised a hand, silencing her. This is how you've always done things. Unwritten policy. Selective protocol. Always just enough deniability to cover cruelty in the name of procedure. Natalie tried to speak, still holding the landline, but her words didn't come. Robert Klein quietly walked to her and took the receiver from her hand, setting it gently on its cradle. This ends now, he said. Tyler Moss, who had just moments ago tried to forcibly remove Vanessa, now stood frozen. He looked to Lisa, then to the rising wave of support around Vanessa, then back at the Summit Wealth badge on his chest. His voice was low. Ma'am, I didn't know. Vanessa didn't blink. You didn't need to know to treat someone with dignity. A notification beeped on her tablet. Carla Evans again, her voice steady. Vanessa, external press alert flagged. Someone leaked the footage. It's already climbing. Local outlets, some national attention. We're trending. Vanessa took a breath, then looked around the room. Maya, still teary-eyed but standing firm. Calvin, who had defended her before knowing who she was. Keith, gripping his phone, unsure whether to cry or cheer. Strangers, some with hands still mid-clap, others stunned into silence. To everyone here, Vanessa began, I wasn't testing you. I came for a simple task. But your reaction turned it into a reckoning. Lisa barked. You think you're righteous? That this will stick? Vanessa stepped closer. I know it will. Because people in this room, people you overlooked, chose truth over loyalty. They chose justice over habit. Robert spoke again, firmer now. Lisa, I'm filing a report. You misused policy, misled staff, and escalated without cause. Natalie, too. Natalie's face was pale. You're choosing her over us? Calvin turned to Natalie. No, he's choosing right over wrong. Something you stopped doing a long time ago. A new voice joined the room. Tobias Green, Summit's chief legal officer, now walking briskly through the double doors. His expression unreadable. Vanessa, he nodded. She nodded back. You got the audit logs? He held up a folder. We did. And HR is en route. Lisa sputtered. This is absurd. She's just walking in here, turning everything upside down. No, Tobias said evenly. She owns the building, the systems, the accounts. What's absurd is that you didn't recognize the person whose name is on half your onboarding paperwork. Gasps fluttered through the room. Edward Pierce finally fell silent, slowly tucking his platinum business card back into his coat pocket. Even he understood. He was no longer a priority client. He was a liability. Vanessa turned once more to the staff. Let this be a reminder. Power is not in wealth. It's in what you do when you believe no one is watching. That's what reveals character. Keith murmured, she's right. Maya nodded slowly beside him. Protocol 6 will remain in place, Vanessa added. This branch will undergo immediate compliance review. Lisa, Natalie, Edward, effective immediately, your access is revoked. Tyler, you'll cooperate with legal to review security actions. No one objected. As Lisa moved toward the exit, escorted quietly by Tobias. She hissed, "You'll regret this, Clark." Vanessa only replied, "I regret waiting so long to do it." Outside, through the lounge's tall windows, reporters were already gathering. Flashing lights, curious eyes. But Vanessa didn't rush. She walked slowly to Maya and took her hand. "You reminded me why I started this company." Maya blinked. "Me? You, and every woman like you who sits down, speaks up, and refuses to disappear." The young black couple who had been silently watching now stepped forward. The man extended his hand. "Miss Clark, thank you. You made us feel seen." Vanessa smiled. Not as a CEO, not as a leader, but as a woman who had carried the burden of silence for too long. "It's time people like us didn't just get seen. We get heard." Calvin chuckled. "Well, they're listening now." Vanessa looked around once more. The room had changed. Not just the faces, but the air. The fear was gone. The pretense shattered. Only truth remained. And as she stepped toward the exit, she said softly, "No more hiding. Not for any of us." Then she walked through the doors, not as someone who had reclaimed her place, but as someone who had redefined it.